Most cruise passengers spend the whole sailing paying for things already included in their fare, or free if they had simply asked. This is 20 of those things. The first half are perks included on specific lines or reliably available on request. The second half are the things you can sometimes score if you know when to push. All of it's real. Let's go. Number 1. Complimentary drinks at welcome and captain's events. Some cruise lines still offer complimentary drinks at a welcome or captain's event during the first day or two of sailing. The format varies. It might be Prosecco passed on a tray, a bar set up for the duration of the event, or a glass at the door. Not every mainstream line runs this the same way, and some have pulled back on the perk over the years, but it's still common enough to be worth checking. The event will be listed in your daily planner. A lot of first-time passengers skim past it, assuming it's just a photo opportunity with the captain. Read the full description. If complimentary beverages are mentioned, show up close to the start time rather than halfway through. These events run for a fixed window. The drinks service stops when the event ends, and arriving late means shorter access to something that costs you nothing to attend. Number 2. Free drinks at art auction events. Most ships partner with Park West Gallery to run onboard art auctions, and Park West events typically offer guests a complimentary glass of champagne on arrival. No purchase required. The drinks are there to create a relaxed atmosphere, and nobody checks whether you actually bid on anything. You can attend, pick up a glass, enjoy the presentation, and leave. Park West events run on the majority of mainstream sailings, and the welcome drink is part of their standard setup. The auction runs for a fixed window, and the champagne is there from the start. No bid required, no minimum spend, and no follow-up. Number 3. Soft serve ice cream on Carnival and Royal Caribbean. Carnival's Swirls venue offers free soft serve and frozen yogurt on ships that carry it, available until midnight. Royal Caribbean's Sprinkles is also listed as an included soft serve option on ships where it operates. On both lines, the machine is separate from paid ice cream shops or gelato bars on the same vessel. Passengers sometimes pay for the premium version without realizing the free one is just 20 feet away. Now, not every mainstream cruise line has an equivalent setup, so this is a Carnival and Royal Caribbean specific tip rather than a universal claim. On those two lines, the machine tends to sit near the Lido buffet or pool deck, away from the paid dessert venues. On a 7-night sailing, finding it on day 1 rather than day 5 is the kind of thing that adds up. You'll stop buying desserts you were never required to pay for. Number 4. Included pizza at late hours. Carnival's Pizza Pirate is included in the fare, with the pizzas themselves free even when the app-based delivery option carries a small convenience fee. Royal Caribbean's Sorrento's Pizza is marketed as a late-night included option on ships where it operates. Holland America's New York Pizza venue is also listed as complimentary. The hours and ship availability vary, but on these specific lines, pizza at odd hours is a real included perk rather than a paid option. Now, this matters most late at night when the main dining rooms have closed and the alternative is room service, which on most mainstream lines now carries a per-order fee. If your line operates a free pizza venue, find the location and note the hours on embarkation day. It's the kind of detail that becomes obvious to everyone by the end of the first sea day, but only to people who looked for it. Everyone else pays for delivery instead. Number 5. Free room service breakfast on select lines. Disney Cruise Line includes complimentary room service 24 hours a day for most items, a genuine full-service perk. Holland America includes room service with a mix of complimentary and a la carte options around the clock. Princess is more limited. The doorknob breakfast card left in your cabin is complimentary, but phone orders now carry a fee unless you have the Princess Plus or Premier package. On most other mainstream lines, room service is moved to a paid model entirely. Now, knowing the difference before you order saves you from a charge that feels wrong on a sailing where you assume the fare covered everything. Check the in-cabin dining card or the line's app on day 1. The inclusions are usually spelled out clearly if you look. The doorknob breakfast on Princess in particular is one of the most underused perks on that line. Hang the card the night before a port day, and a full continental spread arrives at your cabin door before you've left your bunk. No fee, no call required. Number 6. Free use of the ship's app messaging feature. Royal Caribbean's app includes free onboard chat between guests on the same sailing, working across the ship without a paid Wi-Fi package. Norwegian's app also offers free in-ship messaging. Carnival is different. Their in-app text feature costs $5 per user per voyage, so it's not a free perk on that line. Now check your specific line before assuming the chat function costs nothing. On lines where messaging is free, it's one of the most underused features on the ship. Families split across decks, couples trying to find each other at the pool, a group trying to coordinate dinner across 4 different schedules. The app handles all of it without anyone needing to buy the Wi-Fi package. Download your line's app before you board. Confirm whether chat is free or paid for your specific line, and get everyone in your travel group connected on embarkation day before the ship gets busy. Number 7. Free basic beverages at the buffet. The Lido buffet on most mainstream ships include complimentary non-bottled water, lemonade, iced tea, hot chocolate, and non-specialty coffee and tea. Carnival officially lists these as included. Royal Caribbean lists ice water, coffee, tea, lemonade, and juices as complimentary. Soda is not included on either line and is a paid item at the bar or through a beverage package. On some lines, this runs around the clock. On others, the full selection is available during buffet operating hours only. Either way, this is a detail that can save a meaningful amount of money over the course of a week. The mistake is buying bottled water from the ship's shop when buffet tap water is safe to drink and free. Bring a small flavor sachet from home if the taste bothers you. Soda, specialty coffee, and premium juice bars cost extra and are distinct from the complimentary lineup. Worth knowing apart from each other before you order. Number 8. Free fitness activities on deck. Many ships host free group fitness activities. Pool aerobics, deck Zumba, stretch classes in the atrium, particularly on sea days. These are separate from the paid personal training sessions and specialty classes that the gym staff will actively promote. The free options are usually scheduled in the mid-morning and listed in the daily planner without much fanfare. Royal Caribbean notes that while many fitness classes carry fees, select classes on select ships are complimentary. The general pattern across mainstream lines is that the gym floor sessions like yoga, spin, and premium boot camps tend to cost extra, while deck-based activities and basic group fitness are included. The free options rarely appear in the headline entertainment section of the planner. Scroll through the full mid-morning programming on sea days and you'll find them listed quietly between activities. Number 9. Free onboard activities and attractions. The roster of no-cost attractions on modern ships is larger than most passengers expect. Royal Caribbean's Flow Rider Surf Simulator is included on ships that carry it. Carnival Sky Ride suspended bikes, available on Vista, Horizon, and Panorama, are free to use. Rope courses, mini-golf, rock climbing walls, basketball courts, and sports simulators across multiple lines are included in the fare. These tend to get buried beneath paid attractions in the marketing, but the free versions hold up. The same applies to entertainment. Broadway shows on Royal Caribbean ships are included in the fare, the same productions that would cost $60 or $70 on land. Production shows, comedy clubs, and live music across Carnival, Norwegian, and others are all part of what you paid for when you booked the sailing. The instinct to treat only the paid extras as the real product leads to a lot of passengers to underuse what they already own. Number 10. Spa tour and raffle on embarkation day. The spa team on many ships runs an open house tour on the first afternoon, with free entry and no commitment attached. Cruise Critic has covered these events consistently over the years as a source of small freebies, product samples, raffle tickets, and occasional complimentary treatment giveaways. The raffle component requires you to be present at the draw, so check the time before you leave. Now, the spa is also using this to sell you something. The tour can run long. Check the raffle prize before you commit to the time. If the draw is a complimentary massage, showing up is an easy call. If it's a product discount, we'll factor that in. Number 11. Free trivia and the prizes that come with it. Trivia runs on almost every ship, multiple times per sea day, and no cost to join. The prize for winning teams are typically small branded items: caps, bags, magnets, keychains. A bottle of wine shows up occasionally, depending on the ship and the host, but that's not the standard and you should not build your expectations around it. The value here is not primarily the prize anyway. Trivia is one of the better ways to meet other passengers mid-sailing, particularly if you're traveling as a couple or on your own. Teams are often assembled from whoever walks in, which puts you at a table with people you would not otherwise cross paths with. The social side of it tends to outlast the trivia itself. It's free entertainment on a sea day with a small chance of returning something tangible. A reasonable trade for 30 minutes of your afternoon. Number 12. Game show participation prizes. Carnival runs Family Feud Live and Deal or No Deal. Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, and others all have audience participation shows where volunteers from the crowd are needed to make the format work. Some participation shows give out small prizes, branded merchandise, a drink, or occasionally something bigger, but the exact reward varies by host, ship, and event. Do not board expecting a guaranteed outcome, but the willingness to raise your hand is rarely unrewarded. What is consistent is that the ships need willing participants, and they reward that willingness with something. If you have any tolerance for a moment of mild exposure in front of a crowd of strangers you'll never see again, these shows are a reliable way to walk out with a small free item and a story from the sailing. Number 13. Extra starters and desserts in the main dining room. On many mainstream ships, the included dining room menu allows passengers to order multiple starters and multiple desserts without an additional charge. In practice, asking for a second appetizer or an extra dessert is rarely refused. Now that said, policies vary by line and are not universally published as a formal unlimited entitlement, so treat this as a common passenger experience rather than a guaranteed written policy. Main courses are a different story on some lines. Norwegian's current dining terms apply a surcharge for additional entrees, and other lines have operated varying policies over the years. The safest approach is to treat starters and desserts as generous within the included menu, and ask your waiter directly about additional main courses on your first evening. It takes 10 seconds and means you know the answer before you need it rather than after the bill is printed. If the answer is that seconds on the main are free, enjoy. If not, you've lost nothing by asking. Now, everything up to this point is either included in the fare on specific lines or a well-documented perk that most passengers who ask for it receive. The next section is different. These are things that happen on cruises and are worth attempting, but the outcome depends on the ship, the sailing, the crew, and sometimes just timing. Reasonable expectations from here. Number 14. Birthday and anniversary recognition. Tell the cruise line about a significant occasion when you book, and remind your cabin steward and dining room waiter when you board. What happens next varies entirely by crew and by line. On Carnival, a birthday at dinner might bring a song and a dessert from the kitchen. Some cabin stewards will independently leave a card, decorations, or a small treat. None of this is a guaranteed policy item. Both Carnival and Royal Caribbean also sell paid celebration packages including cakes, decorations, and champagne. The distinction matters. A complimentary birthday cake delivered to your table is not something you can reliably count on across mainstream cruising. Both Carnival and Royal Caribbean sell paid celebration packages covering cakes, decorations, and champagne, which tells you where the official policy sits. What you can count on is some form of acknowledgement if the staff know it's a special occasion, and the crew's tendency to do something kind when given the opening. Mention it early. See what happens. Just do not book the cruise expecting a specific outcome. Number 15. a mattress topper for your cabin. Ships carry a limited number of mattress toppers available on request, and they go to the passengers who ask first, which means embarkation day before anyone else has thought to ask. Cruise Critic's coverage of cabin stewards notes that comfort requests like this are among the most common they handle, and stewards will genuinely tell you immediately whether one is available or not. Ask your steward as soon as you drop your bags. If toppers are available, they'll have one that evening. If they're already gone, you know before it matters. A 30-second conversation on embarkation day occasionally changes the quality of the whole week. Number 16. An extra bathrobe. Carnival officially provides bathrobes on request through the stateroom attendant on the first evening of the sailing for all guests. Norwegian lists bathrobes as available on request for certain balcony category cabins. On other mainstream lines, robes tend to be standard in suites and higher categories, with standard cabin guests having mixed results when they ask, which is worth attempting, but not something to plan around. It's a comfort item rather than a dollar saving, but it's the kind of thing that makes any cabin feel better on the first night. Ask your cabin steward on day one and treat a yes as a bonus rather than an entitlement. Number 17. Free blankets at Princess Movies Under the Stars. Princess Cruises officially provides complimentary blankets and popcorn to passengers attending Movies Under the Stars, the outdoor poolside movie screenings available on Princess ships equipped with the large deck screen. The blankets are handed out before the film starts, and they're there for the taking. No charge, no loyalty tier required. It is listed as part of the experience on Princess's own ship pages. If you are sailing Princess and the weather is cool, or you're on an evening Alaska sailing, this is worth knowing before the film starts. The combination of a free outdoor movie, complimentary popcorn, and a blanket on a sea evening is one of the better no-cost experiences available on any mainstream ship, and a significant number of passengers walk past it without realizing everything involved is included. Number 18. An iron and ironing board on Norwegian. Norwegian Cruise Line specifically allows passengers to request an iron and ironing board through housekeeping or guest services. The expectation is that you use it briefly and return it, not that it lives in your cabin for the week. This is not available on most other mainstream lines, where irons are prohibited in cabins for fire safety reasons, and the line pushes passengers toward the paid laundry and pressing service instead. If you're sailing Norwegian and need to press something for formal night, ask rather than assuming it's not an option. If you're on a different line, the iron is probably not coming to your cabin, and the pressing service is the intended route. Knowing that difference before you need it is more useful than finding out at 8 in the evening with dinner at 8:30. Number 19. Loyalty party access and free drinks. Most major cruise lines host private events for loyalty members during each sailing. Cocktail parties, captain's dinner invitations, exclusive Q&A sessions, all with complimentary food and drink. Carnival's VIFP Club runs a private party with beverages included for Platinum and Diamond members, tiers reached at 75 or 200 VIFP points respectively. Royal Caribbean ties similar event access to Crown and Anchor Society tiers, with higher tiers unlocking dedicated cocktail events and complimentary drinks. The invitations come as physical cardstock slipped under your cabin door mid-voyage, and a meaningful number of passengers throw them away, assuming it's a marketing flyer. It's worth reading everything that arrives in that format. If you've sailed a line multiple times and have not been paying attention to your loyalty tier, check your status before the next sailing through the line's website or app. If you have the tier, the event access and the complimentary drinks that come with it are already attached to your booking. And most passengers on the same ship will never know those events are happening one deck away. Number 20. A future cruise booking credit while still on board. Royal Caribbean's Next Cruise program and Norwegian's Cruise Next program both offer verified onboard credit when you book your next sailing while still on the current one. The credit is applied to your current voyage, which effectively reduces what you're spending today. Now, both programs also offer reduced deposits and flexible terms for the future booking. It's not a traditional freebie, but it's a real financial return from a 10-minute conversation at the desk. The credit can be applied to drinks, dining, or excursions on the current voyage, which means the future booking effectively reduces what you're spending right now rather than at some point down the line. Deposits on those onboard bookings are typically lower than what you would pay booking at home, and the terms are usually flexible enough to change or cancel. Now, if you're already thinking about the next cruise, the case for handling the paperwork while you're still on board is stronger than most passengers realize. 20 items, some of them guaranteed on specific lines, some of them available if you ask at the right time. All of them worth knowing before you board. Drop the one that surprised you most in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and watch the next video. Your voyage is just beginning.